Welcome everyone to this BCAS Tax Gurucool video for the month of February 2022. Myself CA Ronak Rambhia and I would be presenting BCAS Tax Gurucool video this month. My topic is adopting the new tax regime for company and its compliances. So I would be covering specifically section 115BA and section 115B which is applicable for a company. So, taking you further, I would just want to give a brief background of these two sections. Background. So, in the earlier days up to AY 1617, domestic companies were liable to pay income tax at 30% plus surcharge and education cess as applicable. So, to promote the growth of business in India, the finance minister in the budget speech of 2016 introduced a lower tax rate regime for domestic companies by insertion of section 115BA, which was applicable from AY 1718. So after this amendment, companies became lesser tax burden compared to other persons like individual firms, HUF, LLPs, etc., which are at the maximum marginal rate of 30% of tax. Whereas now, further, you will see that the companies are liable for a lesser rate of tax. However, after 115BAA, which is inserted in the Finance Act of 2019, the Finance Minister has again lowered the taxation of companies to 22%, subject to certain conditions. So, Section 115BA lowers the tax rate for all domestic companies from AY 2021 to tax rate of 22% plus flat surcharge of 10% and health and education cess of 4%, which makes it to tax rate of 25.168%. So, as per Rule 21AE, to avail the benefit of 22% under Section 115BAA, they are required to file an application in Form 10 IC, which is also online and which has to be filed before the due date as specified under Section 139(1) of the Act. Otherwise, the tax rate shall again become 30% for such company. So again, certain deductions which are not allowed while opting for tax under Section 115BA are Section 10AA, additional depreciation under Section 32(1)(2)A, 32AD, 33AB, 33ABA. Then Section 35(1)(2), 1(2)A, 1(3), 35(2)AA, 35(2)AB, 35AD, 35CCC, 35CCD. So here just to mention 3514 as in research incurred by the company in-house is eligible for deduction. And chapter 6A deductions are also not allowed other than section 80JJAA and section 80M. So in case the company has brought forward losses of earlier assessment years which are incurred due to deduction which are mentioned above by the company, the loss is ineligible for set off and carry forward. So yeah, section 115BA and Form 10 IC, the companies adopting this section are not applicable with the clauses of MAT, and the MAT credit available by such companies as on the date of adopting section 115BA shall become lapsed. So the companies have to decide whether they want to go in the new regime or in the old regime where the normal provisions and the MAT provisions both would be applicable to them. So once you adopt the new regime, then the MAT provisions are not applicable to the company. Form 10 IC needs to be filed before the due date of filing the income tax return as per section 139(1) of the Act. Therefore, domestic company has to analyze the provisions of section before adopting the tax regime under section 115BAA. Specifically, the exemptions, deductions which were mentioned in earlier slide, whether the company would be losing on those deductions while adopting the section 115BAA tax regime. Once the company has decided to go into the new tax regime, so they need to file Form 10 IC. So I would just give a prerequisite and what are the sections in the Form 10 IC. So prerequisites for availing taxation under Section 115B AA are registered user on the e-filing portal. You should have a valid and active digital signature, and the timeline should be seen before furnishing the return under Section 139(1) of the Act. So there are four sections in the Form 10 IC. One is the assessing officer, basic information, additional information, and verification. These are the four sections. We'll see one by one what is there in these sections. So yeah, filing Form 10 IC. So I'll just give you a brief background for filing this Form 10 IC. Just to tell you, for AY 21-22, the due date for filing this Form 10 IC for tax audit cases would be before filing the tax audit return, that is 15th February 2022, and for non-tax audit cases it would be 15th March 2022. So I would say it is 15th February 2022 because the tax auditor has to certify whether the company is adopting the new tax regime or old tax regime, so that he can confirm only after you file the Form 10 IC online. That would be a supporting document for him to mention in his tax audit report whether the company is going for the new tax regime or the old tax regime. So yeah, coming back to filing the Form 10 IC, one needs to log into the income tax portal. You have to click on the File Income Tax Form tab on the portal upper column. Then click on Application for exercise of option under Section 115B AA 5 of the Act. So then the four sections open up. So for assessing officer section, you can read it. It's just an application where it says to the assessing officer with your name and everything, and there is a tab called confirm. You need to confirm on that. Then for basic information section, input the details of the company and the nature of business code that is carried out by the company. This is normally the same which you must have put in which you normally put in the income tax return. Further, for additional information section, give the details of the IFSC units, if any, of the company, and select whether the company had adopted Section 115BA in the earlier years. So Section 115B had come in the earlier years, then Section 115B AA had come. So here it is just a compliance to select if the company had adopted Section 115BA in the earlier years. Then comes the final verification tab, which has the details of the person signing the form on behalf of the company. You can put the details of the directors or the authorized signatory, whoever has been allotted to sign the form. And for finally, you can click on save. You can verify the preview before filing, and then click on submit, and then e-verify using the DSC. So yeah, once you are ready with the filing procedure, but I would just want to give you some precautions. So currently there is no provision in the Act to revise the form, nor does the tax portal allows you to refile the Form 10 IC online. Sometimes one may skip inadvertently to file the Form 10 IC before filing the tax return, which makes the company eligible to avail the benefit under Section 115B AA for that specific assessment year. Hopefully, now let's see, the courts may take a liberal view to condone the delay for filing the form, being procedural compliance only. However, one should be cautious to check whether the form is filed before filing the income tax return for the companies. So, these are some of the precautionary points which I thought I would share with the viewers before filing the income tax return or the Form 10 IC. So yeah, I've just made a brief summary for the taxation of the companies because it runs into a number of sections now. So yeah, so for a company which have turnover for financial year 18-19 below rupees 400 crores would be 25%. However, if the company is adopting Section 115BA, it still remains at 25%. But if the company is adopting Section 115B AA, then it becomes 22%. And there is one more section, section 115 BAB, that is for startups, wherein the tax rate is 15%. And other domestic companies which are not covered above, it shall be 30%. These tax rates are only for domestic companies. However, the foreign companies have a different tax regime, so that can be viewed differently. So I think this gives you a summary of section 115BA and section 115BAA. These days, everyone would be filing their returns. So we thought it is good to educate to the filers about section 115BAA and the Form 10 IC compliance, which needs to be filed online with the income tax portal. Yeah, we hope you like these short videos, and we do request you to subscribe on our BCAS YouTube channel for viewing such other professional videos for your educational guidance. The team at BCS Gurucool would love to receive your feedback on the email ID mentioned on your screen, and the PPT should be available in the description tab. If you have any queries or anything, you can mention in the comments tab, and we shall be happy to get back to you. Thank you so much. Hope you all are informative with about tax new tax regimes, and you all are ready for filing the income tax return. Thank you so much.